So, Andrew Batchelor with the update. Thanks again, Batch. What's at stake? Italy win, and they're the fourth team from the pool to make quarters, and they play Canada. And we have the pool, 3 handlers, going to a stack. Man defense. And good pressure right away. Italy's going to be coming hard. If Italy lose, they are out. Colombia lose, and they are out. And if Colombia win and the US beat Switzerland, or Germany beat Australia, then they're into quarters. And there's a pick called. Colombia win, but Swiss beat US and Australia beat Germany. Colombia missed quarters on tiebreak with Switzerland. So a lot of different options here, but super important game. I think this is the best game we could be bringing you at this time. Both of these teams on the bubble with everything to lose. It's highly probable that the United States will beat Switzerland. So, but Colombia can ensure that no chances are taken simply by winning. And Italy can do the same. Against lots of pressure, break, throw, and Colombia on the board, 1-0. And the Azures D-line put pressure on, getting some adjustments from Davide, and Panda setting up the O-line. A lot of great players on this Italian squad, but young players. I think that's the importance here. So almost good afternoon if you're from Colombia. Buonasera if you're in Italy. Lee, if you're watching, hello. I believe Rose is now friends with you. Well, you're well known and European Ultimate fairly small, but this, an exciting bubble game, so to speak. It is pool play, but it is an elimination game as well. And I'm excited to be bringing it to you. Clouds now and shade, thankfully, cutting out the heat. And one Italian player belatedly making his way across. And the Colombian player is giving him time to do so. And this disc going out. These players young, don't know if they've had time to experience the chemistry that the older teams have, but slapping hands. Pretty good at this time. Good movement against this Colombian zone. It's just a time to wear it out. Italians, one of the strong European teams, almost slips out there. That's a little bit dangerous. Looking over the top. Oh, he didn't risk the hammer. He thought about it though. And out in the man. Lots of pressure. Need to be cutting hard. Oh, and that's a pretty throw over the top. And the Italians roar onto the field. 1-1. Primary thrower for Italy, number 16, Bruno Mine. He's one of the shorter players on the team, but moved it well. I had a chat between games with the coach for Team France. A little bit despondent. Was not a good game for them, and they knew it, and they said it as well. It was not one of their better games. They played much better yesterday. A 360 pull. And it looks to be man. Tre, sideline speaking. And Huck goes deep, it's floating, but it's good positioning. And taken well. And Colombia 2, Italia 1. I think Italy's looking a little too purple. Just gonna make a small tweak on that side. If you do see that change. Do you have numbers? All right, number 38 to 22. So the catch was by Camilo Mejia. Another zone, that's nicely done by Bruno. Coming across, floating a little high, and taken. Oh, now it's trapped on the line, but lots of space to dump it. Francesco Bitti goes up line, back to Bruno in the middle. Oh, it just popped up to Francesco again. That one was riskier, and a little gust of wind. Back to Bruno, he's really driving this. Centered and moved across into the middle. And now into man. A little bit of confusion, pressure, but Bruno reads it well. And there's a contact in the end zone, but no worries, everyone's back up and running. And break from Bruno. Look to Tommaso Franchini, however you want to pronounce that. I still have trouble with Italian names. And it's 2-all. And the offensive line for Colombia forming up. They're holding the line. They're close enough that they can all talk to each other. Getting sweaty together. Slight breeze now. So the next game following this one at 1300 local time, 1 p.m., will be Team Canada versus Team USA in the mixed division. Interesting. Lots of little puffy clouds in the sky today. Show you a shot of those later. And they've all come in the last 30 minutes. And once again, a zone. Over the top, pressure, and the D, and Italia setting up. Creating the opportunities for themselves. Trapped on the line though. Oh, it's low and it's down. And that was a great chance. Here's some cowbells in the background as Team Switzerland is supported in their match against probably Team USA right now. Collapsing around. They're set up again. Pressure put down. Camilo on this side. Nine passes, 10, and on turn. Oh, that's unfortunate. And timeout called. Fabio calling the timeout. Game tied up 2-2. Italy, the second chance to break. So let's go over those options again that Batch had sent over as it's posted on the Facebook page.
Nous, l'entraîneur italien, apparemment, il a l'air chaud des
So, Italy win and they are into quarters and they play Canada. Italy lose and they're out. Colombia lose and they're out. Colombia win and they need to rely either on the Swiss beating, or US beating Swiss, or Germany beating Australia. And then they're into quarters. If Colombia win, but Swiss beat US and Australia beat Germany, Colombia miss due to a tie break. So as I said, it really comes down to Colombia wins, they're in. Italy wins, they're in. Sudden death at the end of pool play. A little bit of drama here on day 4 of the championships. Brought to you by the Toronto Ultimate Club. Vertical stack showing from Italy coming out of the timeout. And Colombia setting up. Looks like it's going to be a man defense. Fabio Coppi with the disc. Poaching off the stack. Getting to the sideline. Be pressure. Easily going upfield. Fabio plays out of Bologna. On Cuspa. He is the primary handler. Oh, and just pops out of his hand upfield. And he's yelling, but it is his fault. Zone goes back on. Oh, and sideline pressure, but just a little bit late. Fabio lurking here on the close side. No options in the middle, one on the sideline. Oh, trying to open up the side. Oh, and well threaded through there. Over the top, and it's overthrown again. And unlucky for Colombia, the wind pushed it over at that time. And the wind just gusting up now. It's slightly from the south, probably the southeast. Not common for this part of the world. Fabio has forced to dump a swing. And again, lots of issues. There's a pick. Andrea Mastriani jumping perhaps just a little bit early. Andrea with the disc, puts in the middle, there's a call. And it's a pick. Will Leandro keep it? No. It's back to Andrea. Francesco available on this side as the dump. And just not playing well today. And there's a deep player and a foul on the disc. It appeared to be several rotations and players moving through, and a bit of a crowd around the disc as it was picked up. There are options down the field. It's not a zone. It's a man. It's not Fabio. He gets it upfield. Good reset upfield. Just flips it in. And the foot stepped on. Colombia's making sure he's okay. And Colombia maintain a long offensive point. Numbers, please. The catch by Juan David Ariza. And the throw from number 0, Ramiro Jimenez.
Quoi? Bah oui, je 6h03, je leur demanderai. Hugo va faire un match de merde.
Corretta, non così. Porto, guardami, non così, non così, così. Hai lanciato così.
Davide More, you might hear him on the microphone, our field mic. He's very loud, animated, and Brick called for. He's talking about, Davide, he's talking about taking it, throwing early, taking your first passes and options, moving the disc quickly. This now in, Bruno, pivoting, puts it over the top. Colombia saying, trap it on the center. throws and movement are so quick. This is good. Pick. And no point. There was a pick called. And always animated, Davide, on the bottom of your screen. Good character to speak about quite often. And the Colombian offense already selected the 7. Were on their way onto the field already when they came back out. Or went back in. And Bruno puts it in. I think that was the I think that was to Davide 48. And his number is 48. So he'll be fairly easy to recognize on the field. So 48 catching it in the end zone. I'm finding it funny because his last name is 48. Wow, some of the skied, well not skied, yes skied and other guests coming around to join us up top in the Crow's Necks. Jimmy Lippert downstairs. And I'm going to be joined by one of Team Canada's gold medal winners from last year, who's here supporting his brother, who's playing on Team USA Mixed this year. So lots of folks up here now in the Crow's Nest. Move to the far side or the close side. Deep options not there. The zone has been effective, has created 3 turns this game. Unfortunately, Italy unable to execute on all of them. Now they're chasing Colombia's. Travel's being called. It's a little bit unfortunate. Continue to move, and this now going to man. A little bit of contact. Yeah, Italy's man not necessarily as strong as their zone. And the sideline not loud for Italy. Oh, and easily taken in the end. We're going to get the numbers for you shortly. Numbers, please. Thank you. It looks to be 85. Thank you. We've got spotters up here now. I think that's basically what their role will be. Yes, it is a must-win situation. Cut by Juan Lopez. Thrown by David Quintana, I believe, or Juan Ariza. One or the other. Pole, floating to the middle, not necessarily a good one. Defense on quick. It's going to be a zone from Colombia. Very holy in the middle. Bruno playing upfield in a more dynamic position. Oh, and those good movement, but the wind is starting to pick up. Oh, and floaty throw in the end. He's all by himself. And he's saying it's out. It's very close. This disc is going to come back, is basically what's going to happen. And I can hear yelling on the field. And is it coming back, or is the point being given? It's coming back. Unfortunately, he didn't take it higher. Just let it drift down to him, which was odd, but looking to center it, and it is Bruno again. We put it up line, and this time, not really an issue. And I have been remiss again on updating the scores. I shall do that now. 4-4. Being distracted by all the guests I have up here, you know, stunned in starry silence. To silence by. It's gotten cooler all of a sudden with the cloud cover. I did say I would show you the clouds. And we had when we had a completely blue sky earlier, where basically we were sitting in that pocket. We're now almost entirely overcast, and just through a random arrangement and lucky arrangement of. So day's gonna stay pretty good. So tune in about an hour and 20 minutes for the Canada versus USA mixed game, which will be here and broadcast. You're finally going to be getting a good stream of Team USA mixed, who have been essentially blanked out by the media. I mean, no one's talked about them at all, I think. Other than maybe Sky, but who really reads that anymore? Yeah, Jimmy definitely doesn't. He just posts and that's it. It's good straight up force. They're preventing the hucks. And Colombia's still getting the unders. And there's a should be huck. And it's Blady over the middle. Unfortunate. That was a rush throw. He wanted to throw it deep. He had a good backhand throw available. Then he spun around and bladed it. He could have floated it out a bit more. I'm sure he'll have that throw figured out by Worlds next year. Fabio centers it. Andrea. He's back handling. As we said, he hadn't had a good time as a receiver. Maybe surer hands here. He wants to huck it. He does. This is floating. 2 defenders underneath. Boxing. And well played by the defense. And quickly back into play. The cutter went in so fast. Oh, he takes a bump, throws it. It's floating out. And it fades out into in front. There's no call. And Colombia 5-4. Colombia did start on offense, so no breaks so far. And this is part of the game that we've seen with, that I have at least seen with both of these teams, is that they always blame someone else for their errors. When I played, it was the same sort of thing, and I unfortunately started to get into that sort of mode. And then immediately after playing, I decided, you know, if one of my throws didn't make it, it was always my error because I could have done a better job. So frustrations a little bit on the Italian side. Unfortunately, the Italian ultimate community not large enough to start filtering some of that off. Right now, very important to be macho outwardly and be error-free. Colombia, I've seen that as well. But so far this game, Colombia playing very well. Italy playing well as well. And Bruno sends it. This one's a floater. And decides to lay out into the end zone. A little bit of an injury. But Italy, very efficient. I apologize, I had updated Italy's score for Colombia earlier. It is in fact 5-5 now for both teams. And Colombia had gotten the 5 earlier. They are swapped on the scoreboard that I'm looking at. Kevin Minderhout visiting on his off day for Next Gen, enjoying the stream. Well, not the stream, but enjoying the game, getting a chance to actually watch it. As opposed to being busy running around and solving problems.
I'm really just waiting for problems to be solved.
Yeah,
At noon.
he's indicating that he's just waiting for problems to be solved, but
I've got to wait for stuff to upload.
And he's uploading using the media connection here.
Now, you just don't know it.
Yeah, he's always working, he says. Yeah. Okay, this point, or break, taking a while. Long floaty pull. And yeah, you can hear Kevin on our microphone, so you got his replies and I didn't have to translate. Oh, good from Colombia. It's floating deep. There's going to be, oh, well taken. It's a handler. You can kind of tell by some of the movements he makes and pivots he makes as well. We expect a quality throw, and he's directing flow now. Calling for close. QD means close or closed in Italian, depending upon where you see it. And there's a collision on the far side. Yeah, that is actually a good seat that is being used now. It's a good way to watch the game. And there's a pick called. Thanks, Ultimate Problems, for tweeting. Yes, an instant replay machine would be nice. But of course, a budget to hire people would be as well. And I'm working on automation to try and handle a lot of that. I would give the opportunity to possibly. I just need the computational power to get the automated replay going, and I'm building out a solution to try and scale me. Oh, and a little bit of a push, and the sideline tape destroyed. And this bounced back, and foul is being called. There were a number of people collapsing around him, and I think one thing that we need to recognize, or the Italians might need to, is that disc was not going to be necessarily caught there. They didn't need to foul. It was very close. No, I'm calling from my vantage point. It's higher and therefore more correct. Both Jimmy and I are standing higher, so therefore our opinion is more valid. Until you stand up. No, it was very close. But regardless, it was not a necessary foul. And Colombia make it 6, and I updated the correct score this time. So things starting to come together here in the broadcast. And Spotter's going to be telling us the number soon, so we can get you those names at home. Number 85, Juanse, scores the goal. We have somebody up here who has spent time with the Colombians. Apparently my voice very soothing to some very certain special people. I guess I could change it. I could do an audio commentary for you in 2 different voices. And number 6 through the goal, thanks to Jimmy for using his young, sharp eyes. Mine have been ground down by Beach Ultimate Sand. And number 6 not on that roster that I'm looking at. Might have been 66. A low throw. Bradley Bruno once again playing upfield. It's going to be the quick reset, and that's very dangerous. Oh, and they need to give it to him. Take the earlier throws. Their coach is going to be telling them they need to be moving sooner and faster. Sorry. Getting that deep pass. And Italy offensively efficient. Colombia is putting the pressures on, but getting beat deep constantly. right, let's look at some of the results from the last round. Thanks for checking in, Kevin. I'm always concerned about the audio at this time, but that will get better. So the results from last round, and this was important. So 17-6, you just watched that game where Japan won over France. New Zealand 14-12 over the Dominican Republic, and these are all open division. Great Britain losing to Austria 13-15, so big move by Austria. Congratulations to all those folks from Austria that were watching. And Canada winning 17-1 versus Mexico. I spoke with Alex Davis, one of the coaches for Team Canada, about that 1 point. And Canada had been holding some players back because they'd been played quite a bit against the tougher teams earlier on. And they put a very stacked line on, and that was a line that was scored on by Mexico. So definitely means that you need to stay warm and focused on the sideline. And the goal was by a completely unmarked Mexican player who streaked downfield, happily received the huck. Zone showing and being played by Italy. 3 passes, and a pick was called because Fabio was the marker. In mix, Great Britain loses to Austria 15-14, so another big play there. Calling force line. Swung back. Colombia's efficiency here, moving well. They're not being pressured on any of their catches. And this is and that transition to man, left an easy pass wide open. And Colombia 7, Italia 6. And Germany, Team Germany mixed over Colombia mixed 14-11. Those are all the results we have so far today. So we haven't had any breaks in this game. The only team that has created opportunities so far on defense, though, is Italy. And that was a little bit earlier. So we have to start seeing Colombia's defense putting the pressure on. As it stands right now, if there are no breaks in this game, Colombia would win it on flip. But I have a feeling that that's about to change. Another offside pull, which annoys Jimmy to no end. Zone. And Bruno. And it's a zone up front, but man behind that. Junk D, now it's into man. And Bruno taking it well. Oh my goodness. Definitely the star player for Italy right now on offense. Now I'm wondering who the star player on this offensive line for Colombia is. Timeout called. We'll find out who that was charged for. Who called the timeout?
Italy.
Thank you. Italy calling the timeout. They need to get that defensive adjustment in now. Get that turn and punch back. Emilio Jimenez walking the sideline slightly nervously. If he spoke up, the microphone down at the bottom would hear it. Kevin Minderhout. looking on with anticipation. This is rest day. They're getting the videos online for some of the games that you've been watching. Our stream still appears to be good. And we are 9 minutes from noon. Let's see what people are saying on Twitter. There's a good question. Need to foul. Are there situations where you should foul? I think we can all agree no. But there are situations where you should be more aggressive towards certain empty spaces around the handler. It is your responsibility as a defense to always try to attack those places, but you have a finite amount of energy. So you have to decide when to use that energy appropriately. So if you're going to be tuning in for the TC versus Team USA game, we're going to be having some guest commentators, one of whom will be Alex Davis. Plays on Furious. If you've been looking at the Ulti app schedule, brackets are coming. That will continue to be the place to go to look at the schedules and updates. And you can put a lot of load on that site. And another offside pull. Jimmy absolutely loving it. And going straight into a man, straight up, shading to a flick. And there's a wide open player deep. Gonna pop it back, float it. And there was a foul call, but it's continued. And Colombia, fast and furious with their running. And floated up a little bit. Wind is picking up here, needs to be careful. Number of hats. Colombia knocking. And it's going to be flipped, taken two hands. And 8-7. Colombia continue. A little bit more pressure on that point. But still nothing that worried the Colombians. They were running very well. Colombia with a chance now to break for half. Yes. Yeah, Jimmy's asking me if I qualify how windy a day is by how many hats I end up on the ground. And that's exactly how I do it. Or whether people are wearing hats, or how many straps underneath are holding hats on. I think that count instantly adds to how many. Pardon me? Well, yes, I do have a strap for my hat, but that's because I'm come prepared. Yes, I know what the weather is like here, and that's why I've been wearing a gender blender pullover or hoodie. Yeah, a hoodie. Whereas other people came in wearing shorts and t-shirt earlier today, and now are wondering why they're not wearing pants and a hoodie, like Jimmy. It's been interesting. We've had maybe one hot day, and since then we've had yesterday was cold. It was basically below 20 Celsius all day. Today we are just about to peak over 20. We're going to be checking up on the weather report right now. And so 23 Celsius, partly cloudy right now. From the north, a 6 km/h wind. That's dropping. So temperature and pressure are steady. Radar is being called for. That may make an appearance. And we expect a high of 24 at around 1400 or 2 p.m. And if we look at North American radar, or ghetto radar, oh, I've been told that's so basically what we're looking at is some rain is expected on Saturday to develop, or on Friday, and we're going to get you a better weather map later on as soon as I have enough time to sleep and or build out the layer for my broadcast, which would be pretty straightforward. Weather here in Southern Ontario pretty interesting. Last week we were hit by the heat wave that was also going on in the US. It was in every place except Buffalo, which is really close to actually the Great Lakes. So I don't know why it was all that hot there. Pole from Colombia. And quickly, but there's a lot of time being spent downfield setting up. Oh, they're overloading one person deep and leaving a mid open. This is the zone that Colombia played yesterday as well, and it worked quite nicely. But the Italians picking up on it right away. Foul called on a little bit of contact. Bill Wong, if you're still watching the parking lot, thank you for volunteering. Looking at dump. There's a little bit of an issue here. And a lot of deep coverage at the very back of the stack. So Italy don't have their normal game that they're used to. Straight up force being called for from the sideline, or adjustments. This has been Italy's toughest offensive point. Foul called. This back in quickly, looking for movement, pointing for a hammer. Playing it safe. Bruno, he's been so good this game. Oh, and a falling throw. And to 8s we go. Next point, half. And 1 hour, with 1 hour into the game, it's tied up at 8s. At halftime, we'll be taking a quick break to go get some food. It's probably going to be one of the few breaks we have. Kevin, be careful. Don't go too far to the right because someone articulated there. 8-8, the score. I hope I've been updating the correct score in the last little bit. If not, doesn't matter. Reality gives is that it is actually 8-8 now, and it was 8-7 for Colombia. A very good defensive pressure. They slowed it down. They caused the zone is confusing because they put 3 up front, and it looks like you could huck it possibly because it looks like a bit of a man, and that can be dangerous. And I think they wanted them to huck it, and Italy didn't go into it. Andrea with the pull. And it's going to man. And a faster cutter brought back in. Well taken. This is a dangerous handler. A nice. And Fabio Coppi being physical on the mark. And the disc pops, but still taken. And Colombia take half. And no breaks so far in this game. And a perfect half for both teams. A little bit less than perfect for Colombia, but also Italy not able to convert. Basically 10 meters, or not even that, outside of the goal line when they were on defense and a chance to break. Happy belated birthday to Gavin, who is now rocking an Austria hat, I believe. Is that an Austria hat?
Yeah.
Yes, his
Coach gave it to me for my birthday.
Yeah, the coach gave it to him for his birthday, which was yesterday. He is now a healthy 4 years old, as he's indicating.
40 it is.
04 years old, Gavin. Yes, 40 years old, as he's indicated several times, but happy birthday to him. And we're now into halftime, which will be 10 minutes. Join us here in 8 minutes, where I will continue with some sort of commentary.
¡Vamos, amigos!
And coming out of half, Italy again showing their efficiency on offense, getting the goal really quickly. And the number with the goal was, Jimmy, do you remember the number who caught that? All right, it was thrown by Tommaso Francini and caught by Giovanni Santucci. I guess he is of Tucci. Jimmy also doing the camera work a little bit.
Only for because I lost my my hair, my skin.
So both teams perfect again. Chatting with Davide Mori on the half. Italia had created 5 turns on D, but was not able to convert on any of them. Almost thrown away, but rescued. Throw goes over the end. Pick called. Andrea having a chat, and it's a goal. And Colombia make it 10. And Davide putting on a bit of a show. He is the defensive coordinator, or coach for this team.
facciamo dopo. Va bene così.
I smell fries, French fries. Is that the poutine machine? The smoke poutineery is here today. And Jimmy looking forward to real Canadian poutine. And coming up with the next game in about an hour. Depends on how this one goes, but Jimmy wondering why Tim Hortons hasn't imported poutine in the United States. Saying they'd make billions. It's because Canada's so close. Oh, and there was a good shot deep there. Bruno, Blady throw over the top. That's a good one. That positioning was perfect. And Italy also stays perfect on offense. That offense has not turned a single disc in 10 points. This is the same offense playing against the defense yesterday that created several turns against the USA. The game's of completely different character, but this one is more important. This is the most important game either of these teams have played so far in the tournament. It's the difference between potentially finishing at worst 8th and finishing at best 9th. It's interesting. Jimmy pointing out that number 311 for Colombia. I'm going to get the number for you right now. Sorry, the name. Interesting that Martin Franco, that he's not playing as much today, and he was on an O-line role yesterday pretty much constantly for Colombia. So the wind's in a perfect position, tempting me to eat something that will hurt me. And a floaty pole comes down, and man, and it's Italy's defense not putting any pressure on Colombia's offense. Very good. Over the top, so much space.
Like anytime you need something like a roller for camera, so heavy because they want it to not have any thought.
Going to the middle. Oh, it's close. Keeping it a distance because these are slightly physical marks. Italy getting a little bit winded. Had an opportunity to put it in the end zone. Italy putting their bodies on the line. There's tighter marks now. Oh, and just grabbed inches off the ground.
There are some that are a lot like you can
just winded. There's a collision in the end zone.
Cameras, you know. Yeah. Where you like
and some words
and those are like much cheaper
and anger, but he's okay. Still a little bit of chat. Everything's okay there. Little slap of the hands, and they've calmed down. And pick called. And the older Norton brother on the sideline. I've been reminded that it's Jeremy Norton. Actually works. Chatting with the coach for Colombia. And could have been a stoppage there, but some frustration with the Colombians because the Italians are getting very physical now. And towed in with a great break flick. Throw by number 8 or 6. Number 6. So throw by number 6. Who does not seem to exist on this roster. Actually, there he is. David Bello to number 22. Camilo Mejia. And so Colombia 11-10. So, and that one? Yeah, I agree. I think yeah, I agree with Jimmy. He's saying that they should try a zone again, and the wind is stronger now. And they're saying more pressure on the sideline. Italy was creating the turns earlier. And a short pull by Colombia. Hits the tape. They're calling brick. And it is going to the brick. So right now, Zach Smith from Sky updating. Team USA open up 9-3 on Switzerland. Germany up 9-8 on Australia. And just a break. So the score is 15-4. I'm getting the update from Jimmy with his razor sharp eyes, seeing 2 fields across. And Italy on the line. Need to be very careful. The wind gusting. And it's in. That was a high pressure situation. Good pressure by Colombia. 11s. And Italian defense goes back on. This is a tense game. It's starting to be a tense game. It'll get very tense the instant anyone breaks. USA mixed team. In your background of your screen there, getting their feet moving and pumping, getting the blood going. Italian defense being yelled at a little bit. But Davide Mori, he wants a conversion here. I think the best part about this game will be the energy that we see after a break. It's been a fairly clean game so far. I'm impressed by both teams. They've obviously worked very hard. Oh, and it's a disc goes to the ground. There's no call. You've got Bruno actually on the field as well. They're calmly going to it. They need to set up quickly. It's the handlers that can take time to get back. The cutters need to be quick. Oh, that was close. Flipped over the top. And Italy break. And now it's 12-11. And they're going to get another shot. They're celebrating. It might be too early. It is probably too early to be celebrating, considering that there's still quite a bit of time left in this game, and that poutine is making me hungry. It's probably making Jimmy hungry as well. If it's still around here. Italy 12. This is Colombia needs to stay clean through this offensive possession, and then their defense, which has been pressuring Italy, but not generating any turns. And really not the zone, I think at one point that they were playing, that they played yesterday, which was the three up front and shifting and doing the mismatch, leaving the extra person in the middle, was working really well. Where is that zone? That's the one that I want to see from Colombia. Italian sticking with the same line. And close to it. But Mori jogging off the field there, got a little bit of a spring in his step. His yelling and screaming reinforced by the turn. And big cheers from the sideline. Bruno is the one with the hat. That's deep. He's chasing the other handler. It's a handler-on-handler pressure. But Colombia moving it well. Lots of space on the unders. Shot available deep. He's going to be coming to the line. No, reset well to the middle. And this is dangerous. He's not hanging on to it. Colombia's most dangerous handler now looking, evaluating, coming back to a middle position. Bruno going to be able to play a little bit tighter with him, pressuring him back. Vertical stack. Andrea poaching off. You can probably hear the wind. Taken high and well. You can hear the slap of the hands on the disc, closing around plastic quickly. Floated, but giving up on it. It floated for a long time. The Italian defender had a good shot on that, and he gave up. But they're so tired and just winded. I think they expected a quicker turn if they got one. And Colombia tied up 12s, still down one break though.
Non so dove l'hai messo, stava sempre là dentro. Bene dai, ho fatto un buon attacco, 21 passaggi, ci sta. Anche 22. Ho fatto un buon attacco ora. Ha messo il più forte.
Thanks to all those that are subscribing, especially big thanks to those that are supporting us with donations. I was having a chat with Jeremy Norton about the setup I have downstairs in the workflow. He works for Elemental, and described my workflow, which he said is quite nice. It's a process of trial and error, and I'll continue to work on it. Plan is to make it very simple. If you want to see a really cool setup, Mike Palmer, Ulti TV, has got a really nice setup. Oh, Italy! This is big. Oh, and they turn it back. Italy's offense that has been perfect so far with no turnovers have their first one and breathe a sigh of relief, but just temporarily. They're stuck on the sideline. Bruno drying his hands, so mature for such a young player. He showed great composure, probably one of Italy's great up-and-coming players, if he's not already, but there's a pick call in the middle. And it's going to go back down to 1 or 0. Starting to get closer to the time cap as well. A little bit of nervous pacing on the sideline. And the wind, stronger now, is going to affect every single team going this way. Wanting to flick Huckett. Uncertainty. Oh, Bruno just grabbing it by the edge. Floating. Pressure. Takes it. Big roar from the sideline from Italy. And they are up 13-12. Scary moments though. And Colombia a little bit dejected, but this is important, very important. That was the first turn that Italy has thrown, and their catches going down the field were not certain. They're very shaky, and Colombia needs to pick up on this. They put the pressure on now. They can create more turns because Italy having some trouble with the wind. A Colombian offense, pressure on them. And we have to remember, these are under 23 players. They don't have necessarily, and we've seen this even with full adult teams that aren't limited by age. They can get very quickly and easily into their heads. They're still developing the ability to be able to respond to and stay composed when things break down, to be able to refocus and come back into the game. And they're still developing this ability, and it's very important for Colombia to stay focused. Offense to say, listen, you can rely upon us. And so less than 15 minutes, according to that, until the soft cap. And this deep pull in the end zone. We're seeing the strong offensive handling line. The wind's died down a little bit up top, but zone from Italy. More passes is what they're doing. Backpedaling handler. He's in the middle. This is the handler we saw yesterday. Oh, and a low pass, threading it. And Italy clogging it in the middle. At least they're trying to. But putting a lot of bodies into these areas where the swings have to go out a little bit more to the side if they're going to be longer. And this one should allow a bit of movement. No. Good adjustment. Back to the sideline, wants to move it. Oh, that's a good cut. Defender had their back, moving well through the mids now. Wants to swing it out to the far side. Travel called. Don't really see a point of calling that. What didn't look like a travel. You're allowed steps to slow down. And now it's on the side. 13 passes. Needs to low out, but he had support. Oh, good pass to the middle, breaking out now a bit. But still staying in the zone. A lot of passes. Oh, this one's floating. Oh, taken, but wasting a lot. 2-2-2 called from the sideline. Some sort of formation. They're tired. You can see the defense. Tired. Reset off the front of the stack. Pressure again. It's into man. Oh! No call. And the the offense down the field. Not ready for that. Italy, another chance to break, but they're deep. Fabio Coppi with the disc. There is a call. And there's contact, and this is starting to look like it's going to get chippy. We're already starting to see some calls and conversations. It's not there yet. Team staying composed. Looking deep. Still looking deep. No chances. And they create the chances, the change back. Force flick. And his handler is a lefty as well with the backhand. Good reset. Oh, and a turnover. Timeout called. Folks, this is an exciting game right now. There's a lot of tension. Colombia needs to bring that energy back in. You can see that they're in their heads. You can see from the left side of your screen, player wandering in, hands on the head. It's a sign of a lot of tension and nervousness. He needs to focus, be there for his team. And there, okay, there they go. They're getting back into their zone. They're getting into a rhythm. It's very important. I think that's one of the most exciting parts about watching. Well, there's a lot of exciting parts. I'm saying everything's most exciting, but one of the nice parts about watching under 23s is you watch these players develop, the veterans and the coaches helping them get over their under 19ness and getting over their youth, because many of these players, only 3-4 years as adults, have a lot of speed. They're going through a transition period as well. Big mental game in the sport, huge mental component, and every one of you who's watching knows it. Italy feeling good, but they need to focus. This point, they need to convert. They convert this, they have breathing space. There's only about 10 minutes left until soft cap. Let's see what Italy sets up with. Bobo asking both the Italian and German Open teams hug their opponents on the mark. Well, Bobo, ooh, Australia up 11-9 on Germany. That's interesting. However, no, thanks to Zach for that. However, it was only some German players that are hugging and really putting the pressure on. And those could be bad habits that are picked up. With Italy, it's a national thing. It's what they do. It's a very aggressive team, right? It's a character that they have. You have some very fair players on the Italian sides that understand and change, but you have to remember they come from a very competitive system. They're competing against soccer for field space. So only the most aggressive players are really going to make it to top level. Once again, issues here on the line. Lots of cutters. This is a pressure situation. Italy. Oh. Turkey calling contact. Fabio takes it well. It's a player from Bologna. They're going to move it. They're into space. Wants to put it over the top. Would get screamed at if he did and it missed. Now he does. Oh, and Andrea, who'd had 2 drops earlier in the game, takes a risky high pass, and Italia 14, Colombia 12. And Colombian O-line, which had been operating well, but had been affected previously, now needs to score. That's it. That's all they need to do, is stick with this and let their D-line solve their problems. But Italy's defense, pretty good. It has created many turns this game. I think the Colombian defense has created 1 turn, whereas the Italian defense has created probably around 10 now. Very much a story. That's the difference. 2 breaks, but Italian defense 10 turns and conversion only on 2 of them. Points to some issues as well with their efficiency. Pull goes up and a confident D-line heading towards the Colombian O-line that setting up in a horizontal, looking to strike deep. Player open in the middle. Kopi had dropped off. Huck goes up and it looks good and taken well. That's what Colombia needed to do there. A very efficient offense. And they have done just that. Italy now, pressure on. They are going downwind, but Italy not looking as comfortable with the disc as they had earlier. Good thing I have my hat on because apparently there might be some geese flying by soon. And if you know anything about Canadian geese, or seagulls for that matter as well, it's that you cover up when a lot of them fly by. Now, Jimmy asking me if a Canadian goose flying over is the equivalent of a American bald eagle flying by. And the answer to that, Jimmy, very simply is no. No, there's Canadian geese have recovered from very low populations. There's a number of documentaries you find online about how people were teaching Canadian geese how to migrate, that from very young they'd raise them and then they'd take little paragliders. In Italy now, receiving Bruno in the middle. But anyways, you'd have these documentaries and ooh, nervous moment there. But these documentaries were about rehabilitating the population, and they did that as well with storks. Picked downfield. And since then, Canadian geese have actually become a nuisance to some degree, attacking people on campus, campuses across Canada, and the U.S. apparently, but we're not really concerned about that there. They are protected up here, though, and because they are a national symbol. The loon, though, which is found on our $1 coin, is definitely one. Oh, and a collision. Everyone's okay, but that disc was going up. And Italy, as I was saying, very nervous. Good pressure from Colombia. Oh, and this one's floaty, but adjusted to earlier. And Italian offense continues to hold. But that defensive round by Colombia, much better than what we've seen earlier. That was not comfortable for Italy and is something that Colombia can use to their advantage. Time, though, winding down. We're checking for time. Okay, it's going to be to 17 anyways, it sounds like, but 2 minutes left. Because now Italy are at 15, the score cap 17, game to 17. And Colombia, lots of time left, lots of space, especially given the recent nervousness of Italy with the disc. But so Colombia definitely stacking their lines. Jimmy updating me on that Colombia is now playing many of their players over and over again. They're stacking. This is a do or die situation. Italy, 2 points from a quarters playoff against Canada. Colombia, 4 points. Zone from Italy, not put on too quickly. Now they're trying to trap on the line, but it's going to be moved back. There's no, oh, they're taxiing and putting pressure on the handlers. It goes deep. Oh, and misread. Absolutely misread by the Italian defender. Covers his head. And Colombia maintain. It was a bit of a bail throw. That should have been a turn. I don't think. And the Italian defender knows it. It should have been a turnover. Italy should have had a shot there. and an error.
We have 15-14.
They're calling for a timeout. Colombia is calling timeout. Italia. Okay. Yeah, they got it. All right. We're trying to motion on the field because there's a number of things going on right now. But Colombia taking the timeout. They're going to try and adjust their defense, but also more importantly, give their players a break that they've been playing again and again. And Italy not stacking their lines just yet. Commentating, oh, good question, yes. This is Jashar Singh for I Am Ultimate, commentating and driving the camera and making sure the live stream stays online and doing the scores when I pay attention. What don't I do? I am trying to find the time to go and eat. Jimmy asking me the question because I have 3 more games in a row after this one, but food might be on the way. Thank you to those who are helping me out. Colombian Queen. No, it might be on the way, and it's way down the super center. Colombian Queen, yeah, let's get you the last one. Do you know who scored the last one? 30 or 39? 39? So last goal thrown by Juan Lopez to, what was it, number 39? 31, 30. I really wish these rosters were ordered by number. We'll see what we can do. But I don't see a 30, maybe it was 38. Jamie Pulido. Well, this is important now. Colombia with a good, well, it's an okay pull. And they're covering deep. Looking. And Andrea. But so much time with the disc. Bruno wanted to go upfield, but a pick or foul or something called. There was a lot of crossover traffic. It was probably a pick. Bruno now ready to come up line, but there's a Colombian defender around as well. And in motion, looking deep, puts it, Blady over the top. Not in yet, but taken well. Players streaking. Looking for options. Deeper reset, that's good. Bruno really bumping and clearing. Oh, and Colombia, great clutch D there. And that's the second turn they've created this game. Number 16 on Colombia's side. On the Italian side is Bruno. Bruno throwing the first turn of his game, straight up mark. And there's a bit of an injury. There was a collision. Bruno is very apologetic for that. Hopefully, all players okay. And the players staying on. And very tanned as well. You can see the sun is being strong here. Straight up mark. And this Colombian defense, which has executed, has only had one chance, and it was a throwaway that time. Oh, and then moving now, looking to huck it. And it's a throwaway, foul called, and there we can see the yelling. And this is the problem, you cannot yell. It's calmed down now. And Team USA coming in on the mixed side to play against Team Canada and the USA next. Down at 0. And they're pressure marks, and it's down. And there's a call, and Bruno's saying, yeah, I did it. I did it. He's pushing in intentionally. And that's the way they're taught. Argument about position. And Colombia trying to settle down the sideline. And then Italy's going to come back and start yelling soon. Positioning issues resolved. Pressure. Right now it's floaty. And a collision. They're saying and Davide steps himself out. They're saying he was out. Jimmy, what's your view on that? He did. Yeah, we were looking for the collision. They're saying he was pushed out. The problem is, and this is a close game. And they're gonna, you know what? The argument here is okay. It was very close. And it was still simply one about he's out. Most players and coaches giving sideline on this side. It's going up line. Oh, and reset it. That was very important. Probably one of the most important. Break. Taken high. Remember, Colombia's down 2 breaks. This one's high, but it's going to be taken. Foul called, travel way back. And he's saying it was a defensive foul, that he was pushing him, preventing him from getting to the mark. Animated sidelines, and that's what happens in a close game. Travel called. But it's a drop. However, it'll come back here. And as we expected, the game now gets chippy. Okay. TC, Team USA, going to do their flip now so they can get this started. Between the younger Norden, Justin Norden. Yes, I like to say they're younger and older because, well, who is the better looking one then, Jimmy? You know, obviously Jeremy, yes. So. Translation, Davide not liking the outcome. And flick huck, Bruno takes it. Was there a call? There's a conversation back here. It's coming back. And there's a foul upfield as well. So just,
Stop, guys, stop!
and this formerly excellent game. Sideline saying it's a turnover. And it is, it's a turnover. Bruno's going to have the disc. This argument over here has been resolved. That argument over there is still being resolved. I don't know what they're arguing about either, Jimmy. Well, and it doesn't matter if it's a pick call. There's no call down the field. The upfields are now getting that information. This formerly amazing game has descended into, I don't know. I'm not going to use whatever word that needs to be used to describe this, but it's not a good game anymore. It's ultimate conversation. I think that's what we're doing now, right? Ultimate arguments.
Can you explain the rules? Sorry. Can you explain the rules? Do you want to explain?
They're saying let him handle it on the field. The poutine truck is a combination of red, well no, I'm describing the actual truck. It's a combination of red and black stripes with narrower black stripes. And disc is coming back. For what reason? Oh, okay, they've resolved it. That's helpful. This game.
I don't know. First they called fast count, and then they're saying something about violation when they started the throw.
So fast count, violations. It's coming in at 8. Blady. Oh, that's a much better throw than before. This one's floaty up top though. And they get the turn. No calls. Okay, great. And there's one player streaking deep, not going to happen. But this offense needs to be operating and gets the turn. That's a fantastic D. And number 311, who had been playing so much yesterday, now on, and Colombia get the break. And 15-15. Once we actually started playing Ultimate, that was a fantastic play. I wish these players would just play Ultimate. The problem is getting the coaches involved doesn't seem to help because they're worse than their players. Well, not the Colombian coaches. You know, out of respect, the Colombian coaches have been very good. And in this sequence, they were reserved and respectful. And I don't need to, for those of you who played against him or with him, need to describe Davide Mori any further or what he was doing during that entire sequence. He was a show of his own on the sideline. Anyways, for those of you, well, who threw that one and who caught that one? But it was, the throw was 3. Yeah, 311. It was Martin Franco with an amazing, just spectacular layout D. That was clutch. It was needed right at that time, and it was all him. It wasn't the wind. That was a great play. Barry, if you're watching, yes. And this pull deep, gonna create problems, rolls out. They'll get a bit of positioning, and Bruno's gonna go get it. And Italy, this is the point. If they score this, they need this one. Colombia's D, very good, but there's no deep pressure from the Italians. No one is going deep. Oh, good bounce. Sure hands. Winds died down a little bit. Wraparound marks from Colombia as well. We have not seen that before. And there's a call saying no, no, no. That. Yeah. We might see a. This is gonna pop back. If and when Italy scores, it's gonna get very loud. Oh, and it's now very loud for the Colombians. What happened there? It is a bad drop. He's had that before as well. And Colombia. Oh, and that one thrown. Calling for space, the sideline. Low throw taken. Bruno coming across the front. He's not streaking. He's been on quite a bit this game. Oh, he's going deep. It's floating. And that. And calls return from the crowd as well that were there. It's going back. Really? There was a lot of anger. I think maybe some pushing in the air. It is. Jimmy is the real commentator up here. I'm just filtering out all the stuff that he's saying and adding my own. It's very loud here. There's a lot of anger, yelling. This is not going to be a happy spirit circle. Good hands from Bruno, though. Is there a call? Oh, violation. There's more space between Bruno and his mark, but he's not really that concerned. Colombia has already had gotten one break back. Still down one break. Our score is showing 15-15. More conversation. Okay, it's amicable in there right now. You know, Ultimate isn't that complicated. It's floater to nobody. And Colombia now knowing they can generate the turns. They've found, possibly even solved Italy here. Oh, that was close. Floated in, and Colombia, 16, get the 2 breaks back. 16-15, game to 17. Timeout called by Colombia. If you just tuned in, the winner of this game. Yell louder, Jimmy. Okay, yes, busy timekeepers. This is a game you stand up for at this point? Yeah, when we go down to the mic drop.
Got a little busy. Got a phone call. This is Jimmy Leppert from Sky.
with the end of the commentary here. It's 16-15 Colombia over Italy right now. Colombia took a timeout after getting the break back. This game's on serve. Italy did rattle off 2 breaks on Colombia out of half. Colombia's been able to fight back. Some strong defense from them. Had a lot of discussion in between, though, on the fields. Pick calls, foul calls, fast count and stall a couple of times. Comes the Colombian pull. Bruno receives for Italy. Strong downfield defense from the Colombians. Foul called on the mark there. A little miscommunication on what really went on. Maybe it wasn't a foul. Coming in at 0 though, regardless on the mark there. Back to Bruno for Italy. Bruno finds a dump. And Bruno loses his man to get open. Throws it deep to the end zone, and Italy comes down with it. It's Bruno, number 16, and number 69 of Italy for the score, and it's 16-all here. Colombia, Italy. Italy, most recent goal. There's some strong man defense from Colombia downfield there, but ultimately wasn't enough at this point. Bruno did a very good job shaking his mark a couple of times. And just getting open for the player with the disc. Italy with a quick huddle here. Their coach has been preaching defensive pressure pretty much all game, and only more so now. This is a double game point universe here. It's game to 17, 16-all between Italy and Colombia. We believe it's an elimination game as well, that whoever loses will find themselves on the wrong side of the championship bracket, aka not in it. While Italy conferences, Colombia has their seven steady offensive players there on the line. And getting ready beneath us, both the USA and Canadian mixed squads. That will be our next game here on the IM Ultimate stream. USA versus Canada mixed in the first day of power pools in the mixed division here at WIFDIF U23 Ultimate Championships. Surprise player in power pool for mixed, of course, is the Venezuelan squad. They were battling some visa issues and other issues coming into the tournament, and last minute were able to create the mixed team, and they've done surprisingly well. Early on they had some problems, but the coach told me yesterday, Coach JJ, that they were able to gel with their heart and soul and their national pride, you know, helping them come together as a team and rattle off some wins and some close games. The Italians only have 6 on the line. This has been a very long point here. I'm surprised the Colombians haven't said anything. They've been ready for quite a while. Italians finally have 7 on the line, and coach still isn't off the field. They're still not ready to pull. I'm not sure if you can hear it on the mic, but the Colombians are shushing the Italians, and while the Italians are only getting louder and louder in their cheers. And there's some Swiss in the stands started to join in with the Italian cheers. Here comes the Italian pole. This is universe point here between Colombia and Italy open. Colombia working it upfield. Sorry about the shoddy camera work there for a second. Not as proficient in the camera work as Tushar. A little bit of discussion as the Italian player got very close to taking that disc. Hard mark from the Italians. The Colombians able to work it up, and there it goes up, and another poor camera work by me. I apologize. Bruno there got very close to getting that, as did the Colombian player, but ultimately the throw went too far. It looks like there's some discussion on the sideline, possibly the disc going back. Yeah, it looks like the disc is going back. See Bruno coming back to help with the discussion, and who was grabbing the shirt? Let's get, we're getting Tushar back.
Thanks to Jimmy for getting involved. Colombia's coach having a chat now, being brought in, or as a translator. Yeah, does look like Bruno knows Spanish. This is a very heated point. It is. It's universe point. They're going to be loser goes home, basically. Well, they're going to go and they're going to play for 9th. That's about it. We have Team USA. If you are tuning in for the USA versus Canada game, they're oh, it is Tommy Lee. I did not recognize him. Tommy Lee and I played together a few years ago in a tournament when he was still very young. Now he's just reasonably young. About to become old as soon as he goes over 23, because that is now the new mark of old, over 23. So this is everything to play for here is pretty much what these teams are hoping for. This would be a big blow to Colombia if they lost. Also a big blow to Italy. And you'll see, I've got to be very honest, the Colombian coaches have been great this game. It looks like it is coming back, and so there's a lot of negotiation that happens in these discussions. Okay, rules for Ultimate. What would the rules for Ultimate be? Try to throw or not hold the disc for longer than 10 seconds. Throw and catch. Try to stay within the lines, and don't hurt each other. Be nice, and try not to hurt each other. That's it. Those are the rules of Ultimate. Yes, Jimmy adding in a U.S. rule of beat the Canadians. You have one of them, at least one of them on your team. Regardless, for those of you tuning in for the next match, this has been a wonderful game. There's been a few stoppages, as I call them, here or there that have run like this for a long time. We're 5 minutes into this one now. We will be disconnecting the field mic for the next game, as we're going to be adding Jimmy Lippert and Alex Davis as commentators, co-commentators. Alex Davis knows the Canadians, Jimmy knows the Americans, and they're both tall and thin, so yeah, Actually, Alex is a little bit muscly if you look at him. Jimmy, you've got things to aspire to, I think. Having not worked out in 3 months, a lot of writing. I will get a chance during that broadcast to hang out up here and just control the camera, and I will manage to mess that up as well. Thank you for joining us on the I Am Ultimate free stream. If you do enjoy it, please, donations are expected. Not expected. I completely lost. Accepted. That's the word. Yes, they're not expected any shape, way, or form, and the vast majority of folks don't. And that's okay. I'll do this even regardless of that. Now, we use it to upgrade our equipment. I've got a number of things. What is it? It's a turnover. This is big, but Colombia has been able to put great pressure. And center, that's risky. Wind has died down a little bit. Look upfield. That's all you got to do. Colombia, a little bit. Oh no, there's a call. There's a call. There's a call. Who's calling what? And a little bit loud and animated, but okay, this is just a quick readjustment. It might have been a pick call. Stands. Oh, it's a high stall count. Blade. There will be no, Jimmy, if you could just back up a bit. There will be no, go there, or sit there. And turn with no contact. Bruno trying to pick up the disc quickly, get it moving. Floating it out to space. Taken comfortably. A lot of bumping. Andrea looking to Bruno. Swings it. Bruno wants to put it deep, but there's players hanging out deep. Andrea's hands getting much better. Up line. Not that far. Good mark. Andrea looking, needs to reset. Travel being called. Physical, but not overly so. This is good energy. And Italy win a very tight match, 17-16. I wish I could say more than that. But that behavior is now going to be rewarded. Unfortunately, well played, yes, but overshadowed. The only person on the field with spirit right now possibly is Bruno. Jimmy pointing out, he's going back, shaking the hands. I've scored universe points before. I have not celebrated, especially after a hard game. The other team put in as much as you did, maybe just a tiny bit less. Regardless, congratulations to Italy. 17-16 over Colombia. We're going to take a break now before our next feature midday match of Team USA versus Team Canada here in the mixed division. I'm going to mic up Alex and Jimmy, so expect that and a little bit of screen blanking now for a little bit. Thank you for joining us. If you have comments, suggestions, donations, you know where to send them. Thank you.